Hi, my name is Sydney Thomas, and this is my final documentary project for HUMS 150B1 about the origin of cannabis in ancient Mayan, Chinese, and Indian cultures. This project is titled Cannabis in Ancient Cultures. Cannabis has been used for thousands of years and has a long history in various cultures around the world. In ancient China, hemp was used for multiple purposes such as clothing, paper, medicine, and even war weapons. The first recorded evidence of hemp in China dates back to the Neolithic period, around 4000 BCE. According to Jan Gumbiner's article, History of Cannabis in Ancient China, it was not until around 2000 BCE that the Chinese started using hemp for medicinal purposes. The Chinese also believed that hemp had spiritual qualities and that it could prolong life. Moving on to India, cannabis has a long history in religious traditions and is associated with the god Shiva, who is said to have consumed it in several Hindu myths. Emily Ledger's article, Cannabis in the Ancient World, Ancient India, explains that cannabis was consumed as a drink called bhang during Hindu festivals. It was believed that consuming bhang would bring people closer to the divine and that it had medicinal properties. Bhang was also used to treat a variety of ailments such as dysentery and sunstroke. In ancient Mayan and Aztec cultures, cannabis was used for both medicinal and spiritual purposes. According to Lisa Renee's article, Cannabis and Entheogens Used by the Mayans and Aztecs, these cultures used cannabis to treat a variety of ailments such as pain, fever, and vomiting. It is also used to induce visions and to communicate with the gods. The Mayans and Aztecs would consume cannabis and other hallucinogenic substances during religious ceremonies. It was believed that these substances would help them communicate with the divine. There are also several primary sources that document the use of cannabis in ancient cultures. In a Chinese book titled The Classic of Herbal Medicine, written around 200 CE, cannabis is listed as a medicine that can be used to treat various ailments such as rheumatism and malaria. In the Indian text, Atharva Veda, written between 1200 and 1000 BCE, cannabis is referred to as one of the 5 sacred plants and is said to have had healing properties. In the Mayan text, Chilam Balam, written during the Spanish colonial period, there are references to the use of cannabis for medicinal purposes. In addition to these primary sources, there are also artifacts that provide evidence of cannabis use in ancient cultures. One such artifact is a Chinese burial shroud from the Han Dynasty, which was from 206 BCE to 220 CE, that was found to contain cannabis residue. This suggests that cannabis was used in funerary practices and was believed to have had spiritual properties. Another artifact is a bronze vessel from ancient Iran that dates back to the 10th century BCE, which was found to contain traces of cannabis. This suggests that cannabis was used for medicinal purposes in ancient Iran as well. Lastly, there are also several sculptures from the ancient Mayan and Aztec cultures that depict people consuming hallucinogenic substances, including cannabis. In conclusion, cannabis has a long and fascinating history in various ancient cultures. It was used for both medicinal and spiritual purposes and was believed to have properties that could bring people closer to the divine. Through my use of primary sources and artifacts, I was able to gain a better understanding of how cannabis was used in these cultures and how it played a role in their religious and medicinal practices.